Matt, tell us what's happening, because it's obviously put a bit of pressure on you.
Yeah, it's fair to say it has, but I don't know really, other than what I did in the Isle of Man and how that helped the team, how the rest of the deals come together, to be honest. I got a very nice phone call on my birthday to say there might be a car available for GB and sort of prepare yourself for that. So, throughout my driving days, I've always tried to give myself the best chance at these opportunities when they come along. So, with the fitness that the work I've put into that the last couple of years and various other, development things I've tried to do for myself, I feel that, I haven't had to do anything majorly different to the usual routine to be ready for this one.
So what has he done? What has Matt done to deserve this? What's he done? He's caught your eye somewhere.
Well, he's got a really good guy looking after him, Peter, who's he's been a really good customer this year to Prime Sport. But in fairness to Matt, I mean, it's been great to see him develop as well. And then, if you look at his progress throughout the year, and particularly his Manx drive, then he's made a big step.
And obviously, John Millington's been in the car with him, so you'll have had hands-on information from JM to let you know what the situation is.
Yeah, Millie always keeps us up to speed with everything that's happening. So, yeah, we've had good feedback as well. So, no, good luck to him this weekend.
So, no pressure, Matt. Are you feeling the pressure? Are you feeling the big hand of sport, or is it you can do your own thing?
I'm just going to carry on like I've done all year, just do my own thing. All the stages, the stages are familiar. The car on gravel, not as familiar as it is on tarmac now. I've done lots of days back to back on tarmac with the long tarmac events that you get in the BRC. Unfortunately, you only get 50, 60 miles on a BRC gravel event, so it's just a case of basically using the 3 days as a good test for next year and put the, hopefully at my pace for gravel for next year's BRC, really.
And ultimately, what's the plan for next year?
Start with try and win a BRC rally. Came very close in the Isle of Man, so the pace on tarmac's obviously there to challenge for that. And, without too much real risk taken all year, we've got ourselves in a position to win the championship. Potentially it was a long shot, but to start the year with a long shot, the championship was great. So hopefully now it's more realistic that we can piece together a championship and do the business.
Fantastic. We're close to the border. We're nearly in Wales, so I've got to ask about the Welshman, Elfyn. What's his brief for this event? He's been on the podium. He almost won in Argentina. Are we going to see some success here? Are we going to see the Welsh flag flying in Chester on Sunday, possibly?
I'd like to think so.
Wouldn't it be brilliant?
I think, he's definitely in a strong position. Yeah, he was very lucky not to win Argentina. He drove fantastic there. And I think, the nature of these stages will definitely suit him, suit the tyres, suit the whole car, I think. So, particularly, I think on the second passage is where he'll be at his strongest. And if you look at Oit's pace here last year, then I think Elvin's going to be in a strong position.
A couple more stages, Oit might have won, mightn't he?
Yeah, it was looking good.
It was looking pretty good.
So, I just hope that Elfyn can deliver the same sort of pace, and there's no reason why not. I mean, he proved in Argentina this year that he can mix it with
Finland.
The best.
And Finland, in fairness. What
his last day on Finland again was exceptional.
Right. One final question, because I've been told to move on here. You've driven a Group E cars. You drove the Group E cars, the Quattros, the RS200s. Where are we with these 2017 cars in comparison? Because a lot of these drivers today haven't driven those cars. You've been lucky enough to drive the Group E cars. I would think you've driven a 2017 car. Well, where are we at? What's the difference?
I don't know. You can't really compare.
There's no.
I mean, if you think Group B cars, okay, they were special, but they were still basically, I suppose, road cars modified in one sense, and I suppose these are still the same, but just technology's moved on so much with suspension, brakes, transmission. You were still Group B cars. I mean, you were still fighting them. I mean, it was just 500, 600 horsepower, but just brute power, and came in with such a bang that the feeling was incredible, and you every time you change gear, your neck was going like, where's that one now? I mean, the cars are just built and designed to do the job. I think the biggest difference is definitely suspension. And of course, if you look at the times that these cars would be doing now in relation to the Group B cars, even though they've probably only got 2/3 of the horsepower, then so yeah, I mean the Group B cars were a challenge to drive. To be honest, I'm not saying these are not a challenge to get the times that these guys do, but if you think, I mean, touch wood, we don't have anything like the accidents that we used to have in the Group B cars.
Great. All right, well, I think we have to say a big thank you to Malcolm Wilson and Matt Edwards. Thank you very much. Have a great rally. We ought to be celebrating that M Sport win on Sunday. Thank you. All right, we'd like to welcome to the stage our next two guests, the new European Junior Championship, Kris Ingram and Jade Pavley. Come onto the stage, please. While our guests come on,
if I stayed down there all night, I'd fall asleep. Terrible.
Some of our guests might not think that was a bad thing.
Why? Exactly. Come on. Anyway, come and sit by me, Jade. I promise I won't look down your top.
There's a lovely trophy here. There's a lovely trophy, another lovely trophy over here. This way, for a minute. Just for a minute.
That is special, isn't it?
Yes.
That is special. And that was all stuffed with euros, wasn't it, when you got it? Huh? 100,000 of them.
Yeah, it's just a dream.
Tell us what you've done. Tell us what you've won, because I'll only cock it up.
Yeah, for the third year trying, I've won the European Junior Championship. This year it's been such a difficult year. I've had an amazingly strong teammate, Jari Huttunen, who's just been picked up by Hyundai. So when I first saw him test, I just thought, I'm going to have my work cut out to beat him. But we managed to do it, 3 wins, and he got 1 win. So it's been an amazing year, and to win this against such strong competition, then obviously the prize is just amazing for my career.
Now, you've been driving for a German team in an R2 Adam, which is a Corsa, effectively, an R2 car. And you've been doing the IRC rounds, which are the European Championship rounds, yeah?
Yeah.
What are the rallies like? You've done them for a couple of years, so you've got a good experience now. Has that helped you?
Massively, yeah. Well, 3 of the rounds of the team this year, the Azores, Barham and Latvia, but some new rallies, like there was one in Rome with a stage in the city centre, which was just unbelievable. So it's been a fantastic championship. Just unique rallies.
Now, it's been great for you. You've been with a full factory team with Opel. You've now got 100,000 euros, but it's not quite 100,000 euros in your back pocket. You've got to put it towards your programme for next year. So what happens?
I've just been enjoying the moment, to be honest, but
I bet you were trying to spend that 100,000 euros, weren't you?
What would you like to do? Because it could be a waste of money going to do WRC2 because you haven't got the experience of the rallies. Yeah. So I guess, what's the sensible thing to do? And
is there any stipulation on what you can use it for?
Has to be used in the ERC, but
ERC, right.
To be honest, I want to go and win the ERC outright anyway, because I've got the experience of the rallies. I need to learn 4-wheel drive before I start WRC. I'm going to hopefully do most of the recce's next year in WRC, but when I start WRC2, I want to arrive and do well and not just finish 6th or 7th.
And your plans afoot? Then are you talking to people?
Yeah, lots of meetings in the next few weeks, so just going to enjoy this rally. It's going to be amazing to drive the factory car here, and then the hard work starts, I think.
So you're bringing the little Adam over here, the same factory car that you've been using all year to do Wales Rally GB?
Yeah, exactly, and we've got backing from Network Q as well, which is really cool and
fantastic.
Andrew C for Hire, got to mention the sponsors, but it's great to have 2, classic names backing me. Couldn't be
two big names from this rally as well.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and there was talk of Jimmy McRae actually being your teammate, but that's unfortunately fallen through, I understand.
Yeah, it would have been awesome to have Jimmy as my teammate, but couldn't get a second car arranged, sadly. But I think he's going to be driving Chumley, so that'll be great to see.
Oh, fantastic.
Now, Jade, local driver, you've done both racing and rallying, but now I think you're a convert to rallying. You've recently got a deal together to do a full championship for next year.
Yes, yeah, I've actually been competing 10 years next year, which makes me feel really old. But started karting, then I went into racing, and now rallying. Yes, I should be doing the Welsh Tarmac Championship next year, and what I've got witnesses, Dad, I want to compete in that car next year. I drove it here earlier, it's wicked. But yeah, the Tarmac Championship next year will be nice, just to wrap everything up, because I've been competing in Dad's car this year and getting my car rebuilt again. So it'd be nice to get back into my car, which I know, and me and Sarah can go out and have a good laugh.
He's quite protective over his car, isn't he?
He is, yeah. That car is like his fourth child. Yeah, it's nearly as old as me, bless it. But it's actually a really good car, and I've honed my skills in that vehicle. You know, I've had to be careful because obviously it's his, not mine. But I've been doing local events, you know, Anglesey race quite a lot. Dad's just won Transmonth in it, so I want to do that next year, so I can match him.
Now, you've been busy as well. You've been making a TV programme, as I understand. Tell us a little bit more about that, when it's on, and what's it all about.
So it's not just a motorsport programme, it's about all like young people doing well in Wales. So you've got game players, you've got people who've got their own businesses, and I was really fortunate, I was approached by the BBC to come and film with them. And they said, you know, it'd be really great just to film you competing, so they did, back in March. And then they filmed me at home, filmed me at work, at the family business. So it was nice to show a side that it's not just all about the glamour and the winning. It's actually, you've got a lot behind the rallying, because everyone knows who competes. You've got to.
And what's the programme called?
Young Welsh Making It.
Young Welsh Making It. And when's it on?
Should be end of this month or November.
End of this month on BBC Wales?
BBC Wales and BBC Three.
And BBC Three. And how many, is it one programme or is it a series?
It's a series. I haven't seen the edited bit, so hopefully I've not said anything silly.
And is there one programme on you, or is there various programmes? How do they work?
As far as I know, it's myself. I think they're doing 3 programmes, and it's a mix of me and 2 other people.
And what car have you been driving? And what events have they filmed you on?
Just the one at Anglesey earlier this year, which is the same kind of time as Goodwood. It was, unfortunately, we had to not finish that rally because the car was a bit poorly, but it was good just so they could see the background, because motorsport can be a little bit of a bubble sometimes.
And this obviously will help you for next year to try and get some sponsorship and some media access and get your name out there, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great to have the family business on board. You know, North Wales Honda have been great, and they've maintained the car. And today I've managed to seal a deal with Clogau, which is really good.
Oh, the gold people, fantastic.
You see my bling?
Yeah, the modelling, the gold, the Clogau and the earrings, yeah, fantastic.
You can borrow some if you want to have.
Oh, thanks, yeah, around my neck, you're lovely, yeah. Fantastic. And some earrings, perhaps. I did have my ear pierced, right? I'll tell you a story now. I had my ear pierced, and on the Cambrian in 1986 we had a crash, right? And the helmet moved so much it ripped the pierce out of my ear.
Was it a late call?
No, it wasn't late call.
Sure.
Blood everywhere there was.
All right, now, Jade, thank you very much for coming to see us. We'd like to welcome 2 guests I'm sure you're keen to see. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Kris Meeke and Craig Breen. Just tucking into the cakes backstage. Was it chocolate?
Oh, fair play. Look at the speed he's coming down here. He's on it. On it, like a cab on it. Watch that big jump there. Craig Breen's coming with a cup of tea, typical.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, hey, boy. Huh? You sit there, yeah. You sit over there, then. All right, boss. Sit by Craig. Craig is fluent in Welsh. We taught him some great phrases. Go on, Craig, give us a few Welsh phrases.
He's drinking his tea. Give him a chance.
Gesti jump ni toch.
Do. Dim Welsh, do you know what that means? No, I can't.
Dim problem ni tor edrych ymlaen y fory.
That's it, no problem. Looking forward to tomorrow. What's the other one? Wedi torri.
Problem mawr wedi torri drive shaft.
Big problem, broken the drive. When we were following the junior championship, when you were with Jaffa, Craig was a bit pissed off because he didn't get any interviews from the Welsh TV. So Jaffa taught him a load of Welsh sayings, and we went around the world and used them many times. Fair play. Huh? But the big man will be looking down at you this weekend, because I'm sure you want to get this car up onto the podium. You want to be there. You want to be as high up as you can. It's been a good year. You've had your ups and downs, but you've had some pretty good results as well, in fairness. You've kept your nose out of trouble. You haven't crashed. You haven't been around the car parks. But you haven't won any bloody rallies either. So, tell us about you quickly.
I was waiting for it to come. There was far too many compliments coming one after the other. I was waiting for the knife just to come.
Yeah, exactly. The big dagger.
I know it's been a good year. You know, it's been tough. It's been well documented that things haven't gone very smoothly throughout the year. The speed hasn't been quite there, but like you said, we've got some good finishes, some good speed in some rallies, and I got experience of a lot of new rallies that I've never done before. So. It's been a joy to be part of the whole thing. Obviously, being in a factory team, a full factory team, is new to me. So it's to be part of the whole roadshow is you're waiting, aren't you? You're just dying to have another stab at me. I just know with the head in you.
No, he's dying to get a stab at me.
I'm just holding hands with Kris here. But you've had good results here. You've had good times here in GB. You seem to like it. You know, you're an adopted, almost Welshman. It's been kind to you.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
What's the plan like?
Should we go for a bit of a cut and see what happens?
Go for a bit of a cut, yeah.
I love the rally. It's got its own special atmosphere, and obviously the connections with Jaff over the years. It was always special to him. So I kind of fed off his enthusiasm when I was doing the events with him. So I'm looking forward to it.
I saw a bit of your testing actually a couple of weeks ago, and it was very old weather there, wasn't it? There was a bit of dust like.
Oh, that was him.
No. So yesterday there was no dust on the stages yesterday at all. It's a bit wet, like. So are we on for a bit of surprise, like tomorrow in Shakedown, or are you on up to speed?
It's going to be interesting. We tested in France last week, and it was 22 degrees in the dust, so it wasn't ideal. But that's the situation we're in. That's that's the only option we had to test. So. We'll see tomorrow morning Shakedown. The first 500 metres is going to be interesting, but to be honest, we were here last year in Wales testing with the new cars. We have a bit of an idea around where we need to be.
You've got all the data from there. I would sum up your year as turbulent.
You probably sum up my life as turbulent.
Yes, but your mentor was Colin McRae, and he was turbulent to the T, wasn't he? So there's a lot to be said for that, because he won a world championship here in Chester. So. I think it's been fantastic. Do you want
a word with my team boss?
He wants his ass kicking, doesn't he? In fairness, to be honest, because what do you do when a man's down? He's won a rally and then he's had a few problems. Oh, we'll give him a rest for a rally. Like that must have been hardship. Like, what did you do that weekend?
It wasn't funny at the time.
I tell you, no way.
There was a few choice words behind closed doors, but that's the situation we're in.
They've got a funny old thing in the French mind, haven't they?
Yeah, it takes a little time to adjust.
I can imagine that.
But at the end of the day, they're the guys that employ you, and you have to sing to their tune sometimes.
But there's an English lady in charge now. Everything will work now. Definitely.
But like you said, this year has been a bit turbulent. Malta was crap. Sweden wasn't great. Mexico was mega until the last 500 metres.
You won the rally, it's absolutely incredible. You skidded around the car park. You've obviously never been watching a rally in a car park, have you? You've never been in these car parks looking for them. Because you went straight to the beer tent. You nearly looked for the Corona sign.
And there was no beer left, so I had to get out of town.
What was going through your mind then?
To be honest,
where's the way out? Like it must have been.
We all seen everyone's expression when the teams. I'm sure everybody watching on TV. It was crazy. But to be honest, in the car, I've had a few moments in my career, and that was another moment. And I landed into the car park. And I landed out over. It was maybe about a 4-foot drop into the field, and I instinctively thought there's no chance to get back out the way I came in because I dropped off.
Right.
So there was a Volkswagen Passat.
I was just going to say, good job it was a Volkswagen, big solid car. Did you have to pay that guy that's still going?
No, we give him a Citroen hat. I don't know how he fixed it with a Citroen hat, but
he did sign it. He was signing for him.
He was proud as punch.
It was probably the only Volkswagen in Mexico, wasn't it? In fairness,
yeah.
He paid millions to import it.
Yeah,
we suffered a lot with Volkswagens over the last 4 years, and they nearly caused us another result in Mexico this year. But no, I instinctively turned left because all the cars seemed to be parked to the left-hand side of the field. But all of a sudden, the parking wasn't that logical, and I got tighter and tighter. I said, "This is going nowhere." I handbraked it round, seen a gap, came back out to where I went, and where I did come in, I spied a little goat track. It wasn't even the width of the car, and I just dropped it a gear up. And yeah, we had a puncture, but we managed to get through. So it was.
You won the rally. Incredible. And you didn't get excluded for non-compliance of the road because you actually missed that 50 metres. I mean,
well, it
it's
wasn't
a good job John Minnie wasn't there.
It wasn't intentional.
Now, I think probably everybody in this room hoped to see Kris Meeke fighting for the World Championship this year. And like we said, it's had its troubles, but you've had the pace. What can you do for next year? Can you get this car where you want it for next year? And can we see Kris Meeke fighting for the World Championship? Because that's what we all want to see.
Ideally, that's where I want to be as well. But yeah, this year's been a difficult one. Obviously, we tested the car last year, but you know, everyone that tests the car said, yeah, it's okay, it's not too bad. But we're introducing new cars with new regulations. The cars obviously are a lot faster this year. The aerodynamic package on them with a centre differential. You've no real relative marker on the testing. And even when Sebastian Loeb tested the car about a month ago, he came away from the test and said, yeah, it's not so bad, but maybe when you get into a rally, and it's only really you get a true marker when you get into a rally situation and somebody takes 10 seconds off you and you have to up the game, then it starts to feel a bit nervous and a bit. But that hasn't been our main issue. You know, there's a lot's been said that's been untrue. But you know, we've had technical issues this year. I had an engine problem in Monte, I had another engine problem in Corsica while leading the rally. Our diff setup in Sweden wasn't fantastic, but at other times we've always been thereabouts in terms of speed. So the speed of the car is there, but at certain moments, like in Finland and in Poland, well, obviously I wasn't there, but the guys, it felt a bit edgy and a bit nervous, but that hasn't been our main issue this year. So
What happened in Finland?
We just weren't quick enough. Last year I won the rally, Craig was on the podium, and this year we were.
That must have been soul destroying, you know, because you weren't in the fight, were you?
No, we weren't at all. And yeah, we had a difficult test last year with the new car in Finland, and before the rally this year it didn't feel great. And yeah, our problems that we have where the car feels nervous on a rally like Finland, where you need full confidence, commitment, and be able to place the car exactly where you want it. It wasn't there, you know.
But then you went to the most difficult tarmac rally, Spain, you know, when it's like a race circuit, and you kicked their asses in fairness.
Well, Citroen did spend the previous 3 years in World Touring Cars, so their knowledge from the touring cars.
Yeah, but you were leading the rally after the gravel, in fairness, you know.
We were within 3 seconds, but we had a very good road position day one in Catalonia. So for me in Spain, the important day was the Friday to try to keep in touch because we knew the speed of the car on tarmac. And Corsica, we were able to lead the rally, and Mikkelsen improved the speed of the car in Germany in tarmac. And yeah, we knew getting to the stages on Saturday, Sunday in Spain, we could do something, but it was a matter of keeping in touch on the Friday.
So what about tomorrow? What about tomorrow night? What's the plan of attack?
Yeah, hopefully not take any fun rides with me on this stage around the Funfair Park, but yeah, rally proper Friday morning. The stages here.
Do you like these stages?
Yeah, they are for me some of the best in the world. And this year they seem to be in really, really good condition. You know, yes, the weather has been horrendous over the last few weeks, but whatever way they've repaired the roads from last year, they've put a fine bind of gravel on top, and they've cleaned a lot of the ditches out, and the stages are in really, really good nick. So let's see what we can do.
We must talk a little bit about the situation with the roads here in Wales. This time last year, we didn't really think we'd be going rallying in Wales because our leaders, the MSA, couldn't talk to NRW. There was no dialogue. Unfortunately, some brave guys stepped in and said, hey, we'll sort this job out, we'll repair the roads, and you pay us the money, and we'll sort it out. They spoke to NRW, they were happy. Fortunately, the guy from NRW said, look, you can have the roads for free, but you've got to put them back into the condition that they are. And this Roads for Wales situation has been fantastic. I don't know if you know this, but basically Richard Keane has taken on the job of repairing the roads, and the condition of the Welsh Forest roads are better than they've ever been. So if anybody knows Richard Keane, or he's here, or any of the Roads for Wales boys are here, I think they really deserve a round of applause. obviously.
Yeah, podium would be great to back up a good result in Spain, but let's see. Here, traditionally on gravel, road position, you want to be far back, but here in Wales, like a lot of things works differently. I describe the stages here, they're like a bowl of soup. You know, if you leave a bowl of soup for half an hour, there's a little skin comes on top, and that little skin on top of the road gives the first car mega grip, and then after it turns to shit. And then
But to get the grip of the soup, and then you get to the bottom.
yeah.
Just one quick question, because I understand Kris has got a question for you. What about next year? Are you sorted?
Yeah, it was never in any doubt.
Never in any doubt.
Like a lot of things appear in the press here and there, blah blah. But it's,
Blah, 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 blah. What about young Breen? Are you sorted next year?
Yeah.
Brilliant. You've been fantastic ambassadors for Irish Rally and for British Rally, so it's great to see you there.
Yeah, well, we've still got our European Junior Champion here, who obviously I'm sure, Kris, you aspire to be in the position these two are now. What questions have you got for those?
I've got a bit of a cheeky question actually for Kris. Colin was your mentor, Kris. Would you ever consider mentoring a young driver?
And have any suggestions?
you have watched my career, you know.
And you clearly watch Collins.
Yeah, I get asked a lot by young guys coming up on rallies and saying, how do I become a rally driver? How do I get to the World Championship? To be honest, I winged it all the way. Started with nothing, very nearly ended up with nothing. I hit lucky being in the right places at the right time. The most important thing, never give up. Continue to drive everything like I stole it. And probably the first rule, never ever buy a rally car, because you'll never drive your own as quick as you'll drive somebody else's. But in terms of mentoring somebody, yeah, I obviously started work at M Sport at the right time. Colin was driving there. I hadn't planned to drive a rally car. I was qualified from university, working as an engineer at M Sport, and everything just sort of snowballed. And within a year or two, it was, Colin was mentoring my career. It was mad. I still don't believe I've achieved what I want to achieve. Obviously, the goal is to be world champion. Whether that'll ever happen or not, I don't know. But I think when you're so concentrated to try and still achieve what you want to achieve, Colin was world champion a long, long time before he took on my career. Colin was near the end of his career. So for sure it's something I would like to do, but like I say, for me, you need the balls, the hunger and the commitment to do it yourself. And that's not being selfish, or it's not being... I had a lot of help along the way, but you need that hunger to get to a certain level, and there's no question I would consider helping somebody out and giving them advice, but whether anybody would listen to me or not after my career, I don't know.
The junior championship is obviously quite important to you, because you fought some great associations there, didn't you, in the junior championship, and you did it. I mean, with Sebastian Loeb and with Danny Sordo, and we saw in Spain that when Sordo went off and broke his car, he told you about it.
He did. He forgot to tell his teammate.
I didn't say that. I'm not a shit stirrer. I didn't say that. But those associations that you make early on in your career are obviously the big ones.
Yeah, funny. So. Yves Malcom was my team boss of the junior team back when I was in the junior team. So myself and Yves got on quite well then, and it's the only reason I really got a proper crack at it now, because Yves sort of liked what I did and liked my approach and sometimes. But that's, the associations you build up with rallying, it's a very small world, and for sure you can't burn any bridges along the way.
I've got to know you, because you've got to go back over them sometimes, haven't you? I've got to finish off with another kick in, really, because you went to Rally Legends the weekend, and I saw some fantastic pictures. But I saw one picture of your car off down the dike, like.
Well, I will hold my hand up. The rally itself is amazing.
Tell us about it.
It's something else. I was invited by Lewis Moya some time ago to do it, and he talked about some tribute to Colin 10 years after Colin's passing, but I said no problem, Lewis, and he said he was trying to gather some world champions there. But I turned up, and I was the only one there to do the full rally for the weekend. I turned up, I didn't even know it was a proper rally. The atmosphere is something incredible. In the little Republic of San Marino in the middle of Italy, and stages start at 8:30 at night in the dark. There's no main service. All the servicing is done with chase cars on the side of the road. Proper old school.
What car did you have then?
For that event, I had a Citroen Zara rented from
4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive?
4-wheel drive,
Four-wheel
a
drive.
World Rally car,
World Rally.
rented from a team in Italy, and it was okay. But fortunately on the Saturday, some of the gear shifts stopped working and the problem with hydraulics, but they're all linked with the transmission and the differentials. And the following stage, I went off the start line 60 metres, went to touch the brake, and the diffs weren't working, which means it just locked one wheel and straight on. So good night, Irene. So I couldn't do anything, but for sure we got it going again the next day. We had a few slides, but Citroen brought their showroom car, the factory car that Colin drove in Monty in 03, to the demonstration where we were able to pay homage to Colin with all the other guys in their cars. That was an incredible experience.
Incredible.
The Italian fans are something, they're fanatical, and you had guys coming up to you, talking to me about Colin. The guys were, grown men literally crying, and that's 15 years since Colin competed in Italy, and it shows how big a character he was back then. But it was a special event.
Great weekend.
It's, like you said, Colin, I think everybody in here holds him in amazing regard. Nicky Kris put a picture of some gloves on Twitter the other week that he found, and it got like 3,500 retweets or something. But you drove the Zara. Obviously, you're in the 2017 cars this year, but you said the Zara is still impressive, even compared to this year's cars.
Yeah, funny, myself and Craig done a VIP Citroen event back about 3 weeks ago, and they had the same car there, the Zara World Rally car. And we got a chance to play in it around a little circuit. It was more or less a kart track. But those cars back then were something else, because they had a fully active transmission. Back in the heyday of Citroen, when whatever amount of money they had to spend developing the cars. And
You're saying they're not spending quite as much now?
no, but anyhow, the Zara, it just feels so together. You imagine what you want to do with it, and it does it. And with these active transmissions, it was an incredible piece of kit. So they don't have the horsepower we have now. We made quite a step in horsepower, but still to get the opportunity to drive those cars back of that era, still a World Rally car, but a different setup, but they're still special to drive.
But Craig, a chance to drive these. Sorry to wake you up there. Was it a coffee or a tea?
Tea, lovely mug of tea. Thank you very much.
You must still be looking forward to driving, this year's car, the awesome piece of kit on those stages in Wales.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm a bit of an eccentric, getting to drive these cars all the time, but yeah, it's awesome. Even last year I remember the feeling of driving the World Car for the first time here, and yeah, now back with these cars, and so much more potential, so much more power and speed, and yeah, it's just awesome. I'll never forget the first time I drove the car on pure dry tarmac. That's when I was really blown away for the first time, and you kind of get an idea in your mind of what it could feel like, what speeds you could reach, and corner speeds with all the potential that you have with the new regulations. But until you actually witness it and feel it inside the car, it's just out of this world, and it's something I'm hugely grateful to have.
Well, guys, thank you very much for giving up your time. We know how precious it is. Thanks for coming tonight. It's been fantastic. Thank you to Citroen for sending you. We wish you well. We want to see you on the podium. We want to see you up there. We're all fighting for you. Just pull over and let Elvin by if you see him. We'll allow you to come second.
I honestly, this week I don't think we'll see the road he goes. Elvin has nearly won Argentina this year. He finished really strong second place, and DMAC works in certain places, and I think they'll work here. So I think Elvin's got a really top shot at winning this event this year.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Kris Meeke, Breen, thank you guys.
And Chris Ingram, thank you very much.
Ryan just said to me, what happens now? And we look at our form now, and we say, what's it now?
There's no Breen in me.
2020, Alan Panast and Ian Campbell. Now, I've seen Alan Panast coming through the door, so we're all right there. So could I please welcome to the stage Alan Panast from Hyundai Motorsport and Ian Campbell, the guru of the British Rally Championship.
And Clark, of course, of Wales Rally GP.
Oh yes, and Clark, of course, for Wales Rally GP. Alan, welcome, thank you very much. Take a seat.
Well, he's got his Wales Rally GB.
First of all, I've got to ask, right, I'm hellish confused, right? We have homologation, we have 2017 cars. We've got a Mark II Escort over there doing the main rally.
It's good, isn't it?
It's bloody brilliant, but what's the point about buying a homologated car?
Yeah,
Can you just explain that quickly?
What, homologation and how it's
No, why that Mark II is allowed to do the big rally?
We got a dispensation from the FIA that we could allow national homologated cars within World Championship round. Now, you used to be able to do that in overseas events,
Right.
but we can now do it within Europe. I don't think they quite appreciated that we would maybe take Mark II Escorts in. It was maybe cars of Group N that were at the homologations had expired that they were thinking about more. But I think it's the first time we've had a Mark II since 85.
Since 1985.
There we go. So yeah,
That's fantastic.
It is good. And, you know, there is a good variety. We've got 11 of them entered this year, and that's one of the reasons we took the national event down to the 2 days, because we had the opportunity to come in to do the full event. So yeah, it'd be good to see how they get on.
Okay, Ryan, does that answer your question? Because Ryan wanted to know and he was too shy to ask.
That would be a first.
If I got a chance to ask.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. Alan, thank you very much for coming. Did you bring any drivers with you?
No,
They're all busy, are they?
They're all busy.
They're all busy watching their videos ready for tomorrow.
sure.
Are you looking forward to Wales Rally GB? Is it one of the, from an organisational point of view and logistics, which is basically your background, is this a good rally for you or is this a difficult event?
No, I would rather say it's an easy event because it's very well organized. So that's already half of the work for us who's done.
100 kilo.
So we don't have any discussions. Everything is clear forward. So it makes our life a lot easier. It's always nice to come here to Wales because there are so many rally fans and to enthusiastic about rallying. So it always makes the atmosphere a lot nicer.
But we had to come to Belgium this year to sample Ypres. Now I've never been to Ypres before, and I came this year with the BRC, and hell was I impressed. It was very good. Difficult rally, difficult stages, but what an atmosphere. How do you do that in such a small country? Brilliant.
You know, we have a lot of British coming over. It helps.
Yeah, it's brilliant though. But you must have a format, you must have the people behind you, the towns behind you. I mean, the whole of the town is closed off. It's incredible.
Yeah, you know, Ypres Rally has become after 50 years a really nice show. Atmosphere is combined with very compact rally. Everything is on 1 day and a half. So we have good beers also in Belgium. It always helps.
Yeah, that is true. And at 6:30 every day, the guy plays the last post underneath that big arch. It was fantastic. We went up there and celebrated that. What a fantastic event. If you've not been to Ypres, I haven't been before to this year, and I missed out, I tell you. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Howard, in all your co-driving career?
In all my
you've
co-driving
never
years, I
been to
never went. No, fantastic. Anyway, 4 cars for Hyundai. Big pressure.
No, we wanted to do something special in Wales GB. We still had a chance to win the World Rally Championship. Since Spain, it's a bit further away, I think. But we've made the entries to have 4 cars here in Wales GB. And we wanted all drivers to support Thierry Neuville to try still to win the world title, which will be also a difficult one. But you know, there can be fog, there can be rain, there can be mud in Wales GB, so surprises are not out of the world, so we're still praying that this will happen.
So what is the talk to Thierry? What is the story? Flat out maximum, take no prisoners.
I don't think he needs any talk, you know. There's only one way to do it, that is go for it.
The Hyundai's been extremely impressive this year. You all went away last year and built new 2017 cars. Wasn't it amazing in Monte Carlo that you were all so close? Did you as a team think, my God, this is incredible? Or did you think, well, we're all using the same tools, we must end up the same place? Or were you surprised how competitive you were and how competitive everybody was?
No, for me it was a bit difficult because I don't understand anything about technical regulations, but our engineers were always saying that the cars would be as close as the 2016 cars. So in fact they were right, the regulation is so well done, and in fact there is not a lot of room to play and everybody is more or less on the same performance. So it's nice to see. I think we have one of the best championships since 15, 20 years. So I think we are on the right track with rallying Tuesdays.
It's great to see so many cars winning, different drivers as well. Right, your logistics, aren't you? How many people have you got here?
I think we are a little bit more than 90 people here.
How many vehicles have you got here?
I didn't count them, to be very honest with you.
Okay, just tell a lie then, roughly.
No, we have for our small building that we bring, it takes already 12 trucks. Then we have 4 trucks with team cars. We have 3 trucks for bringing all the team material there. And I think we have about 15 cars on the trucks. So if you made a rough calculation, it should be about 20 trucks and 15 normal cars. So it's 34. So already half of the people have to be driving.
Half of the people have to drive, exactly. The fantastic service bay that you build, you take it all around Europe. How long does it take to build?
It takes about 2.5 days to build the construction, and then still 1 day to put the carpet, the chairs, and so on. So it's a 3.5 day job.
Now, I must compliment you, as media working with Rally throughout the championship, we get to go around the teams to their various hospitality. And I must say, Alan, the best food in the WRC is in Hyundai. As you can tell, I'm very good at sampling it. And I will be flashing my media pass around tomorrow to gain access.
You're most welcome.
Who is your chef? Because he's fantastic.
He's Italian. So
Italian. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Now, Ian, you've been involved in some fantastic rallies over the years. Tour of Mull and the Rally of Scotland for a while, part of IRC at the time. But what are the challenges of running Wales Rally GB, one of the most iconic rallies in the world?
It's probably the size of the team that's involved, and
do you have catering like Hyundai?
We don't at all.
Hey, go to Hyundai.
It is very much the best. It is superb, but it's a 12-month program. Everybody sees a World Championship or any event takes 12 months, but this one very much does. There will be 1,400 marshals out this weekend. It's about, I think it's 4,000 volunteer days that would add up to if we had to pay for that. It's a huge investment. So it adds up, and it's not just the sporting element of getting the cars from D-side out to the stage 1 and then back and then out to the next stages. It's all the hospitality that goes on with it. It's all the looking after the media. It's getting these services. So it is. When people say it's a rally, it's not a rally. It's an event, and it's a huge amount of time that it takes from each one. As you can see with the hospitality options, they're sold out at Sweetlam and Cholmondeley this year. So it's something to do with the 17 cars as well and the championship that's been going on.
Now, as soon as you get Wales Rally GB out of the way, then you put your British Rally Championship cap back on. We've seen the relaunch of the BRC that you were instrumental in. How do you think that's gone, and how do you follow it up?
Last year was really good. It was 2016 surpassed our expectations in a lot of different ways, and we learned so much. 2017 has been great competition. Came down to the last stage, 1/10 of a second and 1 point on the championship. As you already mentioned, we went to that well-known part of Britain, which is Ypres.
And quite right too.
And we had the most fantastic welcome there, let alone what the event was like and everything else. The way that Alan and his team welcomed the whole British Championship was phenomenal. And it was a real eye-opener for us. We've changed the calendar for next year. We're to 6 rallies, and we will finish at Rally GB, which sounded a really great idea a few months ago. Now when we're all doing it, it's like, we're all going to be very busy. But that's where we are. And yeah, as you say, the hard work starts again, or it has been ongoing, but we've taken this week off, and we'll go on to next week.
The last couple of years were fantastic, right?
Yes.
So why, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Why have you come to Wales Rally GB and left out 2 rounds in Wales? No Nicky Kris, no Mid Wales.
Yeah. Well, Mid Wales.
I can see you're going to say, okay, we're coming back to the Welsh Forest and Wales Rally GB, but the WRC will take away the spectacle. You've just said it was fantastic finishing the Isle of Man with a split-second championship decider. Yeah. I really don't see it, and I'm a true British Championship man, and I don't see it. Well, I see the IMS lying in their own pockets.
I wish that was the case from there. The other great thing from IMS's point of view is our business model for the British Rally Championship is actually to bring back a nil balance to the company. Okay, so if any profit that we do make, any surplus, which last year we most certainly didn't, and this year we're going to maybe just about come to the zero balance, it's what our aim is for. So we don't have to take a margin out from there. The reason for looking at coming back to Rally GB is comes down to, when we were speaking to Prestone, who is our title sponsor, who have been fantastic this year with how active they've been. One of the questions they came out with was, if the British Rally Championship is supposed to be the premier championship within the UK, why isn't it part of the UK's World Rally Championship round? You think, that kind of makes sense, because if you were at a squash tournament or a golf tournament or something like that, the competitors from the top competitors in the UK would take part in the World Championship round of that. And then we asked about our competitors and what their sponsors and such like would want out of it, and what challenge they would want from there. And they came back going, yeah, they would love to see Rally GB as a round. It was something that, it's going to be very hard for us to do from the resource that we have from running a championship round as opposed to and running the event. But the other, Brian, I think, probably did it the last time, that it was part of both. One of the things is that IMS as a company promotes Wales Rally GB. IMS as a company also promotes the British Rally Championship. So if we can't do a promotion job in both of them, we've gone wrong there somewhere. The other thing is, if we look at this summer, we were out in Ypres. We were far from top dog in Ypres. And our competitors...
That was quite interesting, actually, because everybody from the BRC went to Ypres thinking they'd be leading, and the top BRC cab was 4th or 5th after the first day. And that really made them think, hang on a minute, we're supposed to be the top guys in Britain, and we're getting hoofed here by the Europeans. And which was, for me, brilliant for the BRC boys, because they showed straight away, they're all thinking they're a little bit above themselves, but they got nailed.
But yeah, I think we came in 7th was our top competitor from there. The guys learnt a lot. I don't know how many times Alan said to me, he says, tell them, take their time on Friday, and that's what you do, take your time on Friday and Ypres, and Saturday you rally, and that's where we'll go. Of course, nobody listens, and so he goes. But we weren't top dog in Ypres, is what I was trying to say. But I certainly feel that the promotion that the championship got out of it, and the story that was told, was that we weren't lost within... Alan had 3 championships to look after. He had the Belgian Rally Championship, the European Series as well, and BRC was it. And we didn't get lost. And that's the kind of scenario that we need to take to this event next year. We've got a good turnout from BRC entered this year, and a lot of guys looking forward to it for next.
So based on the competitors you had in BRC this year, how many are doing Rally GB this year then? Do you know the figures?
I knew when I opened my mouth and said there's quite a few of them doing here.
I'm sorry I'm giving you a hard time. I'm sorry I'm giving you a hard time.
I expect it.
I know, good. But you've lost Nicky Grist as well. I mean, I couldn't see the mechanics behind that, because I thought that was quite a good event.
As I said to Neil Cross, who was the clerk of the course, it was a good event. It ran well for us. It didn't deliver people for us from there.
Yeah, but when you go out this weekend, there are no people. There aren't big towns and cities. That's why the roads are so good, because we planted them with trees. So, you can't have everything. You can't have people. And to be honest, people are a nuisance. If there's, spectators is one of your biggest headaches.
That was a good thing from Spain. There was an FIA World Organisers meeting where we were, all 13 rounds were at it. And it was great to hear that everybody from around the world basically came back to the one issue that we all shared, which was spectator control. We've all got the safety delegates that go through, and the great job that Michelle does, but it's actually people moving after the zero car before the first car goes through. And it was fascinating that all 13 rounds have that problem, and how we look to then change it from there. And Portugal was kind of shown as being the one event that was the prime example. And when you think where Portugal was to where they are now, and they have 90% of their spectators are in 10% of the route, because they all go into the areas that have, and it's done really well. So that's the big education process that we have to go through on each one.
I must say, going back to Ypres, I thought the spectator in Ypres was brilliant, because there was so much access into the stages, and in fairness, the stages were mapped out. And then when you got there was tape around the cabbages, and you walked through the cabbages or whatever they were, and there's a lot of work goes into it. It's a massive route, but everywhere we went, there was somebody telling us no, yes, no. It was a great experience to go and watch the rally, and I think some of our volunteers and our I'm going to be a bit critical here, our Orange Tabard Brigade could learn a lot by going to Ypres and understanding the European way.
As many of them actually do. when they head over. But it is also the law in Belgium that you can't go within 10 metres of a stage.
Now, I'd like to add another guest to the stage. I'd like to add our special guest tonight, a man who was behind the scenes in much of the success at the Mitsubishi Rally Art World Rally Team, now a man behind the scenes with Toyota Gazoo Racing. Welcome to the stage, Lassie Lampe.
You'll have to clap for a long time because Lassie is old in years now and needs a lot of time to come to the stage. It's 30 years to this weekend that Lassie was in my garage supervising the change of gearbox. No, supervising the roof going back on Harry's car after he tipped it over.
Is this okay?
No.
Hello.
Boys are panicking like hell over there. Look, nothing's going on. How was that with Lassie?
Okay.
First,
Terve, Lassie. Terve. Welcome to Wales.
First, I would like to do a small correction. I'm not old.
You're not old.
I'm just a little bit more experienced than many of people here.
And you've done a lot of this, haven't you? No.
But anyway, I remember very well we visited your garage first time.
I don't think you ever paid me, actually, going back
No,
to
it wasn't my problem. You should, but Andrew wasn't. Andrew was after money at that time, no?
Yeah, all of it.
Oh yes, and he's from Scotland, so I don't expect that you can get any money.
But Lassie, you're still doing it. Still telling these Finnish drivers how to drive, how to set up the car.
I don't know what I do because people asking what you do, I always say that I've been all my life very lazy and hiding the work. So it's still the same situation that I don't do anything, but I look after what the others are doing. You know?
What is your role in Yasuda Racing then? Because you were Tommy's mentor. I remember you come in, you test for 2 days. Tommy turns up on Tuesday afternoon. He does 2 laps. Lassie's car okay? Yes, car is fine. Tommy drives the car 2 more laps. It's okay, it's fine. I go.
Yeah,
you did all the work.
Yeah, that time it was quite easy, but now these drivers are, I think they are not so confident that they would like to do themselves, a little bit more. But yeah, I try to help the drivers to set up the car. I look after almost everything, and I give my advice if they ask. Normally they don't ask, but I still give my advice, And this is my job.
Your work with Tommy obviously respects you because the team has been set up around Tommy and the people that work well with him in his years. It's a fantastic thing to see all the people that work with Tommy having the opportunity.
Yeah, I think when people heard that Tommy is going to organize the Toyota team, many people think that okay, how he can do it. But I think he is the only one from Finland who could do it, and he is so strong, And when he decides something, exactly same like you said that when he came to the test, I remember also once in Wales, he came and he asked, have you got something else to try? And he did actually 2 or 3 laps, And we said, no, we don't really have anything more. Then he said, okay, I have a slot in 2 hours from Chester, so I go. And he was confident. He's as confident as he was that time, 20 years ago. He's still confident on his team, running the team, and looking after the things. Yeah.
What did you do to Jari-Matti this year then? Because Jari-Matti seems to have a fantastic new youth of exuberance, and he went out there and blew it there.
We are using some Finnish words with him, We are talking Finnish, and he's very relaxed. Also, he is engaged, with a nice girl.
Do you think that makes a big difference?
Oh yes, for sure. All of us have always women behind, So they are turning our heads, So it seems that happened also to Jari-Matti. But to be honest, yeah, he's for me he's totally different person now than what he was when we started. I've been first time in December last year on the test, and he was a bit nervous and didn't know exactly what is going to happen. But on this moment, like last week here, You visit the day when Jari-Matti was driving?
Yes, I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
He's so confident, you know, like in...
Like the car was a hovercraft. I couldn't believe it was touching the road. It was incredible.
No, it's touching very well. We have very good suspension. Our car is good. You know? But anyway, he's confident, and his confidence, you can see that, like, for example, in Catalonia, when we did testing with him, you know, on the tarmac, he said 5 o'clock afternoon, okay, I can finish. I'm ready to go to the rally. I'm so confident. And he said, this is first time on my career. Now it happened exactly the same in Wales Forest. 3 o'clock afternoon, he said, okay, is there something more to try? And we said, you can try whatever you want. But I'm confident. I'm confident for the rally. But okay, he was driving until maybe 5:30 and left home. He said, I'm confident. So I don't think that there is not so much space on the podium, you know, for the Welsh drivers or British drivers this time. Sorry
what
about
what about the guys from Germany in the blue car?
Of course, there is 3 positions, but we try to occupy all of them.
Have you driven the car? Have you driven the 2017 car this year?
No, I don't have a license anymore.
You don't have no desire?
No, because I'm so experienced, you know, that they don't give me a license. I'm still driving with Mitsubishi, you know, sometimes, but I'm waiting the day that Toyota allows me to drive.
Yes. Yeah, you have some Gallants tucked away still, which are now a historic car, now an FIA historic car.
Yeah, I have some Gallants at home, you know, and actually last 2 years, you know, we spent all the free time what I had at home, you know, to build one more. Because I had only 3 and now I have 4. I don't know what I do with them.
I must say I was very lucky when I went to Finland this year. I went to Juha Kankkanen's house and I knocked on the door and I said, Juha, please, can I see your cars? And he took me into his private collection of 33 cars, and in the middle of there he said, this is Lassi Lampi's car. Incredible to see your car sitting in the middle of all those wonderful cars.
Yeah, that car was originally Ari's car on Monte Carlo 89, so it's the original car, you know, all rebuilt.
And previously to that, you had a lot of success with Audi, and I remember you in the UK with an ex-Hannu Mikkola David Sutton car, I think. You finished 3rd on the Welsh and 4th on RAC Rally as it was at the time?
Yeah, I have good memories from Audi, and I must say that if you go back, you know, 30 years or a little bit more than 30, when I had the chance to get Audi, first time Rally GP here, you know, that time it was RAC, so I retired in Kildare, but you know, it happens. And Audi is the only car I never managed to roll it, you know. All the other cars, you know. Oh, sorry. I have done also rally with Toyota, and I couldn't roll that, you know. So 2 cars on my career I couldn't roll, Toyota and Audi.
And you did a lot of rallies in the Audis for a few years. You went to Ivory Coast and something like that. That must have been an interesting rally at the time.
Yeah, and I did a lot of testing, you know, that time already when Audi came with this S1 and the short wheelbase. Now I can say that the short wheelbase wasn't so good car at all, you know, on the beginning, because they decided just to take 30 centimeters away from the wheelbase. And everything else was the same as before, except that the engine was more heavy, and that car was horrible to get set up. But then they employed, you know, one guy from BMW from the racing to do the aerodynamics, and they did this S1, and I did a lot of testing with that car, and that car was all the life, you know, very competitive. It was same wheelbase, but weight balance was better, and the aerodynamics. And now we are back on this very similar situation.
Did you ever drive the mythical mid-engined Quattro? Are you allowed to answer that?
Yes.
And that was in the Czechoslovakia or somewhere they used to test that car?
Yeah, that time it was Czechoslovakia, and that is funny story, you know, if you like to hear. I didn't know that time, okay, that time it was Czechoslovakia, not Czech Republic. And we stayed in some town in Hotel Moscow, middle of nowhere. It was like 1st of May, something like that, you know, a lot of red flags and things like that, you know. And we couldn't test that day at all. And that time it happened, this Chernobyl accident, you know. And then we stopped the testing, and we had very, very good car, you know, with automatic gearbox and 1070 kilo, more than 600 horsepower, fantastic car. Everybody thinks that it was difficult to drive, but Even for me, it was easy. And after that, Audi decided to stop. Then, more than 20 years later, I've been with Skoda. We go to Zlin for Barum Rally. And nighttime coming, I didn't know the place at all, where we are coming. Just coming to the square, I could see this hotel. This must be Hotel Moscow. I've been here maybe 25 years ago. So it means that the place where we tested, where Audi had like private military area to test, it was the area where the Barum Rally is based. So, back on the same hotel, everything was same.
Whatever happened to that car? Whatever happened to that mid-engine Audi? Where's it?
I think they are on the museum. I don't know, because I left Audi that time to Mitsubishi.
So going back to Wales Run GP, what's your favourite stage here in Wales?
Sweetland. It's very short. If I have to do it now, it's Sweetland because it's short enough for me. But I think Hafren is the famous stage, and it has been more or less every year. Sweetland is part of that,
When do you think the rally will be won and lost? When is the critical part of this year's event? Have you an idea? You haven't looked at the schedule.
I have a schedule, and I know that I've been yesterday through all the stages. So,
what about the Vigar combination? Running them twice, the tyre situation.
Yeah, this is quite long distance, to do 110 kilometers. That is something what I don't really. I'm not criticizing, but I don't. Really
you can criticize the clerk of the courses. You criticize.
Okay then. Yes. We are bringing big hospitality units and a lot of mechanics and people, and we are talking about road safety and safety on the road, and we are using rally cars on high speed in between the trees and muddy conditions, and we are not allowed to do any service. So for me, as an experienced guy, this is stupid. But I hope that you can find a place in future that we are more close to the stages, and then we have a chance to do the service, because this is part of the safety.
Yeah, we've got a fantastic facility at D-Side for the Rally Village. We have had over the last couple of years about 20,000 people over the weekend through that facility. The issue that we have with it is that it's here and the stages are here. But we also, up in D-Side, we've got a lot of hotels, and we've got locations like this that we can use for the infrastructure that Alan was talking about earlier on, which is the same with the Toyota team. The other option that we would have is probably Welshpool would be the only place that we could probably take the event to for the Rally Village, because we just said it's 3.5 days and 12 trucks for the Hyundai operation. It's a big unit that you have as well. So we could go to Welshpool and base the event out of there, and we have the stages on the doorstep, but we don't have the resources for the accommodation to look after it, and that's what we're up against. It would be the absolute best for us, because we want to get everybody back to Rally Village as well, and it's what we've tried to do this year, but it is the forests are generally 2 hours away. And that's what hurts us.
You are obviously running within the FIA regulations, so it's obviously approved by the FIA.
Yes.
Alan, what do you think of the situation with the tyres on Saturday? What's your feeling? Where do you think the rally is going to be won and lost? You've just heard a very strong comment there from Lassie. What do you think? You're sitting there.
No, I don't think anybody here in Wales wants to stay in Hotel Moscow. So no, for me, rallies become more and more an event, so it's very, very important to mix the commercial side and the sportive side, and it's clear that we have to make some compromises. I have been around in Wales everywhere, and to be honest, I don't see a place where you can put it, or it is in Cardiff, or it is in D-Side. So there are not a lot of options, and I don't think we want to be stuck in Bill 12s, because it doesn't match really the image WRC wants to give to the outside world. So we have to make some compromises, and I'm in favor always that all the rallies in WRC shouldn't be the same. Monte Carlo is different, it has a different route, it starts somewhere, it finishes somewhere else. So Wales GB is like it is, and I think we have to accept it. And I don't want to have all the rallies, the 3 days, Friday morning, midday service, and so on. It's clear we have the hospitalities, and we should use them. And it makes sense to use them, and they'll have the cars coming back every time to service. But unfortunately, the geographic situation of Wales doesn't fit to that. And for me, to accept one rally who is a bit different than the others, sometimes it's blonde, sometimes it's black.
And there's an element of driver psychology and tactics as well, isn't there? You know, it's an important thing. The drivers have got to manage their package.
There is, but Alan used the word compromise there. Every rally route is a compromise, but that's where a man who's further stage away from him is 25 kilometres from Ypres. It's like, wow. But we have to be on TV at 8 minutes past 12 on Saturday, so that already fixes part of where your route can be, where you have to be at that time, and then you're the same on Sunday for the power stage at 18 minutes past 12. So that there's lots and lots of compromises always come into
lots
the route.
Lots of constraints on you. I hope you don't feel that we badgered you too much and giving you a hard time, but...
You're looking for a meal from me at the end of next month, so it's fine.
We've actually got a man now who's benefited from his
yes,
idea.
Your wonderful idea of allowing old homologated cars. I'd like to welcome onto the stage Steve Southall and Richie Bestwick to come on and join us. They are going to use that white Escort, am I right? This weekend on the rally. It's 1985 since an Escort actually competed on the main event. Which one's your Steve? And your Richie?
That's right. That's right.
Welcome to the stage with such a fantastic array of people. Tell us the story. And are you going to last 3 days?
I guess Howard, I can answer that one.
Oh, navigator, he's on it. Look.
Well, it was about 4 months ago.
It was that closer.
It was about 4 or 5 months ago when we first saw in Motorsport News that we're going to be allowed to enter the event. And I said to Steve, it was such a good opportunity to get out there and compete on the world stages, do a full international event, that we thought we couldn't miss this. So it's been a big job for us. All the lads from the club have got behind us and helped out. Mike McEwen, Gav Butler. We had a lot of people lent us things. Tony Rees lent us a car to do the recce in. A lot of people lent us vans, tools, spares. So it's been a good experience for us to get involved. We've been down and got an international licence. That was all something new for us. Had to go to Silverstone.
So you obviously passed the medical then. Hey! Huh? Did you have to run up that hill as well? And the old machine goes higher and higher? There you were sweating, were you? Come on, Steve. Christ.
I was on the way there.
Lassie, what would you tell Steve? He's got 3 days to do with that Escort. What advice would you give him?
First, is it PDI engine? What means that for me?
Millington is a 2.4 better than the BDA.
Yeah, no, okay,
Shitloads of power.
Then there is maybe a chance. Is it better than BDA?
Yes.
Is it 16 valve?
Yeah, yes. It's a 2.4, is it? 2.4.
If it is BDA, I was thinking that 3 days is too long, for the head gasket. But I came here once with the BDA Escort and it lasted three stages and then I have to go home because the head gasket. But this looks fantastic, this car, so I believe that 3 days is just the start of the car.
And what about the thought of doing, these stages in a car? How old is the car? 74. The spectators are going to go mad actually when you come through, aren't they? In fairness.
No, they won't be walking out by then.
No, they won't. Because they're doing the stage twice, remember? So it'll be some spectacle. Are you looking forward? You look like you're nervous as hell, actually. You shouldn't have.
Howard, we didn't have a chance to do Steve's media training, so that was one thing that got overlooked. But you're happy to appear now, aren't you, Steve? No.
What are you hoping for? I mean, what's your, are you going to actually be looking and say, Christ, I was only 140 behind Ogier on Sweet Lamb? Or have you got some other people to point at to go? Obviously, Bryn Mawr's doing it. You can compare your times with Bryn Mawr, can't you?
That's a finish I want.
It's to finish you want. To get over the ramp on Sunday and be in Llandudno and do a few donuts on the street there, yeah?
Yeah, I wanted to do the national.
If you actually finish, will you do a donut on the street in Llandudno?
No.
We get the clerk of the course to allow it now.
Well, you started it.
You started it. Yeah.
You invited them.
Yeah. Guys, it's been fantastic. I think we're 10 minutes OTL. We've only got 30 minutes OTL, so we'll have to sort of kind of wrap it up. We're having a break now for 20 minutes. Breen, I can't read this thing. It's very old writing. But I'd like to just... Oh, thank you very much. Christ, that's brilliant! I'll tell you a story about glasses. I was in the... Sorry. I'll tell you the story about glasses. I went to the airport one day. I thought, I'll buy a pair of glasses in the airport. So I went round, right? And I looked at them all. And they had 150, 3, and 450. So I changed the label off the 450s to the 1 and took them to the counter. And she said, £9. I said, no, they're only £1. She said, that's the strength of them, you So I paid £9 for the gayest pair of glasses you've ever seen. Anyway, Steve Southall, you've seen him here. Lassie Lampy, King Test Driver, Magic Man, Alan Panas, best food in the service area. Ian Campbell, who's messed up the British Championship and now is doing the RAC. And I forgot your name, Mr. Co-Driver, but I think he'll probably kick you up at the weekend because you look very annoying.
Thanks, Richard.
Okay, back in 20. Drink like hell because the action's next.